Hello there, Save Princess here with another, and it's a spoiler alert, but it's another first place game. This specimen is from Starbucks from earlier today, what ought to be close in my mind. And some aspects are, but I pretty much always forget my childhood. By the time I'm sitting in first place, I've pretty much always forgotten what my childhood was like. What it was like to be small. And so I'm getting a refresher from this particular game of what it was like to be small in a game that I eventually saw first place in. You hear the clinking of you might hear a clink of a bowl and a spoon in the background. That's about the last drop of my Spumoni ice cream at a time that is way past everyone's bedtime, so I should be keeping my voice down a bit. Oop, poor little guy. What was he thinking, if anything at all? Ooh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Gotta be something there. That cloud is so big, that big guy can't hardly account for, can't come close to eating it all by himself, try as he might. Got a pretty good size. Hopes there's some more back in here to get to. Here's where it's really, really happening. Very twisty, though. Very twisty and suspect. This day, this little Starbucks day, which I came in an hour and a half before closing time, so maybe a bit of a long shot to get some time in first place, especially the way that the evening began. I got in I didn't even break 1,000 for 5 games in a row. My my gem during a 5-game period, maybe it was 6, was in case my closest, my most glorious game out of 6 was one in which I was wrapped. I was wrapped early on, and I was wrapped during one of my sizes was maybe only a couple hundred. Oh my God, that is someone's eating well, and it's not me more than other people. Well, there's a bit of something for myself, but I do get some. I'm alive, as is usually the case in a love handle game. Staying alive is the main thing. It would have been so glorious to get him, but I'm here for a long-term game and not necessarily to do in other people. Oh, look at that, just opened up right in time. I think the right call here, I haven't discovered what the right call is, to be more of a sense of it, would be just blast through both levels, both layers of Death Cloud, rather than take one long stream. Probably would have been a better choice. I ate well as it is, but I think I could have eaten better. And boy, that seems to be the end of that. Time. Oh, wait, look at that! Look at that! Oh, poor baby, poor baby! Oh, look at that! Look at all those layers. But what can I get that's safe? Oh man, just not. It kind of seems thematic of not getting as much as I might have. Some huge explosions where I'm not really getting as much as I might have. And those brown snakes look so much like the background. Another one of those brown snakes. Incredibly like the background. I wonder, do I see them significantly better in game time than I see in reviewing them? Should always take YouTube's lighting suggestions to heart, and I suppose even be proactive and make the lighting edits myself in case I'm not asked. Oh boy. And there's other lives other than my own. Tragedies happening next door. This one's quite the freak show of other worms' lives other than my own. Where we have to 9,000, perhaps getting close to knocking on that leaderboard. Yeah, what seems really thematic is, as good a game as this obviously would turn out to be, it seemed to be a case of there's always been other people eating better than me, and Death Cloud all over the place that I feel like I didn't get to participate in. Great job staying alive, but so much popping. It just seemed like I didn't get more than a taste at a time, except rarely. And that was one of my better ones, except it kind of does havoc to the shape. And more blow, have no hope of getting involved in that particular blow up. And la 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 la. I guess I neglected to finish a little story there. That out of the 6 games that came before this, there was my best showing was one in which I was wrapped at 200, and there's nobody here. That's a kind of a weird move, especially that's a weird move if you're not even going to get more than half of the cloud that exploded behind you. Kind of bizarre in the first place to go back for it. Anything interesting here? Nah. I'll stick with this one for long enough for someone to pop. Maybe not. Can we go back for that one? Now that one may have made some more sense to head backwards than the previous one made sense. But probably neither of them really made sense. Still here for me. Good deal there. And boy, it has been a chronic problem in this game to try to get extension, as we shall see a bit more in the future. But yeah, maybe I'm at like 200 size in my most glorious of the first 6 games today. The least glorious of them, I hit record prematurely and just kind of let myself die. Never moved to save my life in the first game as some kind of a false start with recording. But the other 5 were just legitimately horrible. We're going to do this? And what's this going to do to us? Yeah, okay, so we do take advantage of it. We just allow ourselves to be twisty. Say, okay, we're going to be twisty for a while, but I'm going to get that fairly substantial death cloud. We don't want to be deprived of every death cloud under the sun. So we're going to twist ourselves in a knot once in a while to do such a thing. I'm wrapped at 200, but I'm one of 2 different guys who's been wrapped. And the other one is much bigger than me. There's 2 of us in the same wrap. And the larger of us blows before I do. So while I'm being wrapped, I get to eat the larger of the 2 worms. uh, in this hapless state. And then, I go down nice and easy too, but I die at 800 rather than 200. That is the best game out of 6. So, wasn't looking very good at that point. Maybe I needed my coffee. It took me a while before, I go to Starbucks but we would like to imagine I go to it for what a lovely, oh, you know what? Screw the circle. Or we'll try to build it from scratch somewhere else. That was an awfully nice pickup. But there is a lot of traffic around here. There is a lot of traffic. We're on the leaderboard now. I'm even going to get more. Jesus, now some close calls. There are close calls in this one. Yes. Well, we'll make a figure 8? I don't know exactly. Oh, boom. Now, I really seriously wonder about this one. That turned out so well because of the person blowing. But, what if that's a tight squeeze that I'm dealing with and don't have someone blowing while I'm going for it? And it couldn't have gone better, especially with that guy dying without me having to close on him. Could not possibly have done better, but what if? If ifs, ands, and buts were candy nuts. But it all turns out just fine. Just fine. So, fairly big. Didn't have the daring do to go closer to that bit of cloud. Was having a little bit of trouble getting my hand position. Oh dear. Well, okay. You'd have to boost less if you committed to being skinnier. So what do we have now? 14,000. We're in 5th place. We've made up quite a few slots. Looks like a pretty bald world right now. Lots of room. The way things currently stand, lots of room to get our shape back. And now here we want to make our border impassable. This wasn't really the pass on which to do that. Although Big Pink on the other side of me agrees with the principle. And you can see him beginning to create a mountain pass. Now this is a cool one too. Neither of those little guys survive at my edge. So if I'm not going to be creating the border, Pink will. So between us, we're going to try to make an impassable barrier. A snowed-in mountain pass. A couple of mountains with a snowed-in mountain pass that cannot be crossed in the winter. Take that as far as I could. I'm kind of making a reference to another game. Let's see, which one was it? Again, I don't believe I've got recorded yet. Jesus, there are close ones. And of course, that is good news, except not very good news. It seemed so promising, didn't it? We're just going to do a little twisty turn, and we'll be right back and get all kinds of death cloud, but the practical effect was just a taste. I really only got a taste of death cloud out of that one. There's something going on there. There's another really, really close one. He didn't survive long though. I mean, they're just dying all over the place. And him, I'm in the wrong place for that. We're going to boost through, see if we can get something here. It's huge. And that was like pretty out of control for how fast I was going. And, I'm pretty much meant for none of that either. Gigantic, gigantic death cloud, and I'm not meant for. In that one, did I get even a sliver? Did I get a sliver of it? Something's gone right today. I'm in 5th place, but it just seems like with people blowing all over the place, and I'm not getting any of it. And that little taste we just had there was one of my biggest. And his one, following green here, is a particularly successful strategy. And finally, we're going to get some fairly, as these things go, it's a fairly decent death cloud. But following green was a great strategy. Oh my God! Now speed up, get something here. You gotta get something. Gotta get something. Gotta get something. But then, of course, you don't want to be too out of control about it. To say, well, I deserve it. I've been suffering for so long. I deserve some of that death cloud. Well, only if the board says you do, really. Now, I am so compromised. I'm about to just getting fairly close to doubling over myself to playing as if I am half of my actual size for the difficulty stretching out. And you look at the map, we're pretty much dead center. Dead center. Suddenly, it wasn't that long ago that this was a fairly sparse area, right? There was a lot of ability to stretch out to your fullest extent. And now, where are these guys coming from? Up to 3rd place, that was a bit daring. I get a taste there. Where do they all come from? Why are they all showing up in the center? Is it me? You've got to check out this big guy in the center. Well, I'm not that big. I'm not... There's bigger out there. Number 3, not many. Where do they all come from? I heard this was the place to go, so I came. The dots. The dots are leading me here. I guess this is where the blowups have been happening. It is thematic. There's been a lot of blowups. Been more meaningful to me so far in this game that I haven't had a great participation in much of them, but there's certainly been a large quantity of blowups. I guess that's what leads to the trails of orbs. The orbs pop up as indicators of where there have been blowups. So A, there's blowups, and B, we're led to, oh, poor guy. Poor guy got freaked at how close he was to keep hitting me, overcompensated, and holy moly, am I getting close calls myself. Close calls to death, and not nearly the participation in blowups that I'd like, considering boosting to get extension. Now, there's a lot of games where I have been chill as I saw extension. I'm not meant for that either. Keeping our safe shape. That one, get a taste. That's about as much as I get. How about this one? Huge, huge, huge. I get the tiny little tail. And of course, one supposes that it would have been an option, but to go the other direction. But you can see that other worm was right there. So we couldn't call it safe beyond that little bit. The velocity, we're not going as fast as some people. 4th place on the leaderboard. Look at all those lives. I don't get that first taste if the other guy lives. Now here, nice opportunity. Nice opportunity. See this part. This is a fairly bald area. I had some confidence it was bald from past experience, and now we're getting good extension. we're getting to extension. And I must say, I didn't realize that this deep in the game, I would have extension that is this good. The way that I remember the game, and BAM! Doesn't it seem there's been a lot of those? Doesn't it seem that there's been a hell of a lot of close calls here? It's not always the case. I guess we're also dealing with a human world. I've just been coming off of some bots games to tell you different things about how Slither plays. It's different with humans. We are dealing with a fairly human world here. Oh, look at that! Look at that! It stayed in close. There's my is that my first really close one? Or my second? I guess there's that one time when I was I had a circle and I said, screw the circle, let's go for this cloud. See, that recent one was the most I made of being in my circle, having nice things going on while I'm in my circle. That's a good one, boy, oh boy. And you can imagine being really ambitious, just trying to blast through that, but not bloody safe to do it that way. I wonder about the occasional loop-de-loop just to slow my progress down. You think if I could let a couple guys pass, there could be, if I'm having good Death Cloud, if I was slower to get to it rather than faster. Oh, not a lot here. Bit of a unmanageable risk. Oh, we're in second. We gotta be leaderboard watching now, because we have made it into second place. Yep, down to third. And there's a nice little chunk of orbs that kind of justifies coming out. And this guy, there are bots in the world. I think that's, well, is he? He's actually kind of bot-like, but bots don't play edges like this. This is human. This is how humans play. Oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. They're kind of big, these guys. Now this guy's playing around me. I don't necessarily want to let that happen. So this guy's compromising me a great deal, making me fold over myself. He can't get around, but he's got me very squishy. And so now we're going to just blast forward. There's so much room to make up, and there's another very, very close call. And Love Handle's down to fourth. They have second, Love Handle. Oh, actually, say Princess. Say Princess is what I'm going by now. Now that I have the Princess skin. These are some big guys around my circumference. The last game I looked at was one where it was all kinds of tiny guys. But relative to me, these guys are not that tiny. A lot of guys here growing up to be big and strong. And what do we have? Do we get any of this now? This guy blasting through it. I'm not meant for one lick of that. It was so attractive, so beautiful. But I'm not meant for one lick of it. That's what I can get a lick of. Stay alive with small licks. And it does add up. Obviously it adds up. I am quite doubled over, quite in need of some extension. And I can't really afford it here, can I? You want to go vroom, blast through it, but where is the opening? But here we are in second place. So looking for it again. Looking for a moment again. Just some basic reward for staying alive. Dead center in the middle of the field. Oh, and can we participate this one? Can we participate? It's too deep. Too deep. That was a good moment for a pickup. That gray guy is acting worrisome. So you get the extension just by virtue of there it is. Save Princess in first. Where we are on the clock, 25:36. Save Princess makes it to first place as a wrap begins to happen. He doesn't make it. He doesn't make it. There ought to be something here that's pretty daring, but we want it. We want it bad, bad, bad. Look, we're doubling over ourselves anyways. We're getting all of this cloud. Oh, more freaking close calls. Completely doubled over our body. Where do you blast forward? Here's where you blast forward, right? Whoa. Whoa. So we get ourselves a little bit right in there. There's so much more to achieve. And here we're not going to try to achieve a whole lot more because the eating's so good. But check out how this really compromises. Now that might have been the time to blast forward another little bit rather than just be doubling over. Yeah, I think I really should have gunned that one a little bit more to the right. Seemed to be opportunity. Now this is just completely, but my opportunity is lost now. It's completely ridiculous how tight I am in here. So we're going to have an opening to blast more, which we take advantage of. And whoa, this guy's kind of thwarting the plans. And can I get out of this thing? Bunga. Ah. And ladies and gentlemen, it is off into the sunset.